Imagine a world where opening your eyes could mean instant death. An invisible force is sweeping across the planet, driving people to unalive themselves in horrifying ways. But here's the terrifying part. Some people can see it, and they don't just survive, they worship it. One survivor, haunted by visions of his daughter, believes he's doing the right thing. But the truth? It's far darker than he could ever imagine. What's really behind this apocalyptic nightmare? And is there any way to stop it? Stick around, because this movie is more disturbing than you think. In the aftermath of an apocalyptic disaster, Europe is left in ruins, with only a few survivors struggling to navigate an increasingly hostile world. A sinister, unseen force is spreading across the planet, compelling people to bring about their own demise. Among those still fighting for survival are Sebastian and his young daughter, Anna, who have taken temporary shelter in an abandoned skating rink in Barcelona. Seeking a brief respite from their grim reality, they attempt to enjoy a fleeting moment of joy until an unexpected noise shatters their peace. Panic sets in, and they flee through the rink's corridors, only to be ambushed by a group of blind wanderers. In the chaos, Sebastian is knocked to the ground, his bag of supplies ripped away by the opportunistic group. As he lies there, he spots a jagged shard of glass and considers using it for protection, but Anna pleads with him to let it go. Resigned, Sebastian and Anna shield their eyes and cautiously step back onto the streets, which remain in a perpetual state of devastation, littered with the lifeless remains of those who fell victim to the force. Their journey leads them to a small cluster of fellow survivors. Wary of strangers, the group hesitates to accept them, suspecting they could be a liability. To gain their trust, Sebastian claims to have valuable knowledge. His past experience as a construction engineer has given him insight into locating generators that could provide power and warmth. Intrigued, the survivors take him to an old bus station where they've established a hideout. There, he meets Liliana, a doctor who tends to his injuries, and another survivor who has deliberately sealed his own eyes shut in an effort to retain his sanity. Over a shared meal, the group speaks in hushed tones about the horrifying nature of their world. The stitched-eyed man reveals that, while the majority live in fear of the entity, some individuals are unaffected by its influence. These individuals, known as the Seers, roam the ruined cities without the need for blindfolds. However, their immunity comes at a sinister cost. Those who are not Seers become their prey. That night, as the group rests inside the bus, Sebastian makes a move. Under the cover of darkness, he discreetly gathers the station's keys and begins trying them on the bus's ignition. His actions wake Liliana, who rushes to stop him, but Sebastian locks the driver's door, insisting he is doing what's necessary to free them all. As the engine roars to life, he fumbles with the controls, sending the bus careening wildly through the station. The commotion rouses the others, who break through the door and attempt to wrestle him out of the driver's seat. The struggle causes Sebastian to lose control, sending the vehicle hurtling through the building's entrance before flipping violently onto its side. Disoriented but unscathed, Sebastian crawls from the wreckage, muttering about the entity's arrival. He stares in awe as an ethereal glow escapes the first victim's body upon contact with the force. Liliana and the others stagger outside, eyes squeezed shut, but Sebastian forces them open, making them witness what he sees as divine salvation. One by one, the survivors succumb, their luminous essences drifting skyward. Just then, Anna reappears, taking her father's hand and whispering reassurances. He has saved them. A flashback transports us 9 months into the past, to the moment when Barcelona first fell. Sebastian had been at work when emergency alerts flooded in. Colleagues collapsed around him, their minds shattered by the invisible presence. His wife's frantic call sent him racing to Anna's school amidst a city descending into chaos. Smoke choked the skyline, explosions rocked the streets, and terrified citizens trampled one another in blind panic. At the subway station, he witnessed people contorting in agony as objects inexplicably floated around them. Realizing something was terribly wrong, he fled. By the time he reached the school, despair had already seeped through its halls. A lifeless nun lay slumped over a desk as frightened children cowered in corners. Clutching Anna, Sebastian sought an escape, but the outside world had turned into a battlefield. Flames and debris blocked their way, forcing them to retreat into the chapel, where they encountered Father Esteban. The priest, consumed by a radical belief, proclaimed the entity to be an angel of salvation, come to deliver humanity from suffering. His words took root in Sebastian's mind. Shrouding Anna in his jacket, Sebastian pressed forward, only to witness his wife step into the street, just as a car struck her down. Returning to the present, Sebastian and Anna stop at a church, where he sees a painting shift before his eyes. It is confirmation. He is a seer, his perceptions so warped that he mistakes mass death for divine ascension. The streets are once again teeming with those unable to resist the force, and Sebastian watches in reverence as more souls are freed. His path soon crosses with a lone woman scavenging a store. Believing she must be saved, he moves to strike, but before he can act, he is attacked by dogs. The ambush exposes a hidden group of survivors led by Rafa, a hardened leader accompanied by Octavio, Roberto, Isabel, Claire, and Sofia, a young German girl who reminds Sebastian of Anna. Though initially suspicious, Rafa allows him to stay after Sebastian repeats his story about the generators. The group soon faces another manifestation of the entity, marked by objects rising ominously around them. They flee to an old war shelter, where Sebastian privately converses with Sofia, who tells him about a rumored sanctuary, an isolated mountain castle. She even sketches an image of it, complete with a cable car leading to safety. Recognizing the location as Montjuic, Isabel confirms that the stronghold might offer protection. After a heated debate, the survivors agree to embark on the journey, hoping to find refuge within the castle's walls. That night, Sebastian's dreams are haunted by his past, the echoes of his choices reverberating in his mind. At dawn, the group sets out, pausing briefly to retrieve a map. Stepping into the open once more, Sebastian is hit with another flashback. 8 months earlier, he had desperately relied on his GPS to navigate the crumbling city. He had sprinted to the hospital, carrying Anna in his arms, begging for help as her fever worsened. With reality unraveling, objects inexplicably lift into the air, forcing Sebastian to retreat to his apartment, his desperate search for a cure ending in failure. In the present, the weary group halts for the night, exhaustion weighing them down. But for Sebastian, sleep remains elusive. Across the dimly lit ruins, Anna's silhouette lingers, watching from a distance. As the others drift into slumber, he quietly sabotages the leash restraining the dogs. At dawn, as the survivors cautiously navigate the streets, an eerie force engulfs them. Disembodied voices, sweet, familiar, and heart-wrenching, whisper from the void. The lost call out, pleading, beckoning. Confusion ripples through the group. Amidst the turmoil, the weakened leash snaps, and the dogs bolt. Sofia hears her mother's voice urging her to remove her blindfold, but Octavio intervenes just in time. Rafa, frantic to find his animals, follows their cries. The moment he tears off his blindfold, the entity takes him. His lifeless body collapses, and the dogs, sensing his absence, whimper at his side. Roberto steps forward, only to be bitten by the panicked animals. Octavio spots an abandoned house and blows his whistle, signaling the others to take shelter. Inside, as Isabel tends to Roberto's injury, Octavio shares a chilling theory. The entity might be a quantum being, existing across shifting states of matter, feeding on human emotion, specifically fear and grief. Sebastian's certainty wavers, his deeply held beliefs shaken. Sophia, inconsolable, clings to her sorrow, prompting Sebastian to offer her Anna's necklace. A flashback ignites. The streets had once been teeming with Esteban and his radical followers, forcing people to open their eyes, to embrace what they called salvation. Inside his apartment, Sebastian fought to shield Anna from the horrifying sounds outside, drowning out the chaos with music. Back in the present, Anna remains ever present, whispering, urging. The realization dawns. She is not real. As Claire attempts to forge a connection with Sebastian, she warns him. The entity manipulates the living by resurrecting the voices of the lost. Yet, Anna's presence continues to haunt him. Suddenly, Roberto's condition deteriorates. With infection setting in, Octavio, Claire, and Sebastian scour the house for medicine. In a room with an open window, Sebastian glimpses Anna and beckons Octavio over, claiming the window is sealed. When Octavio removes his blindfold, he sees the entity and immediately succumbs. This time, something changes. Sebastian, once entranced by the light that left the bodies of the fallen, sees nothing. Doubt has tainted his faith. Objects tremble violently, and Anna's voice grows urgent, commanding him to remove Claire's blindfold. Before he can act, Claire drags him away. As the group resumes their journey, the city bears new horrors. Corpses marked with Esteban's symbol litter the streets. Then, from the distance, a lone seer on a bicycle approaches. The group flees, but Roberto and Isabel are struck down. Realizing their fate is sealed, the couple removes their blindfolds, choosing to perish on their own terms rather than be taken. The entity looms. Sebastian forces Claire and Sophia into a nearby building. In the dim light, Claire notices something chilling. Sebastian's goggles aren't opaque. They are clear. He has been a seer all along. The pieces fall into place. He is responsible for the deaths of those before him. Terrified, Claire grabs Sophia and runs. Fueled by Anna's relentless whispers, Sebastian gives chase. The pursuit leads to the rooftop, where he corners them. He shoves Claire aside and reaches for Sophia's blindfold. Then, everything stops. Anna stands before him, blood staining her figure. Guilt floods his mind, drowning out the voice that had once driven him. A final flashback unspools. On Anna's birthday, a break-in shattered their fragile peace. When Sebastian awoke, he was on the rooftop. Esteban and his followers loomed, forcing Anna to open her eyes, to witness the entity's power. She perished before him, and then she spoke. She wasn't real. She was never real. The entity had twisted his pain, turning him into its instrument. The Seers were nothing more than pawns, spreading its reach. Back in the present, clarity seizes him. Sebastian rescues Claire and pleads for forgiveness. He has awakened from his delusion. He vows to protect them. But time runs out. The Seers storm the building, their pursuit relentless. A violent clash erupts. One woman lunges for Sebastian, clawing at his eyes, desperate to destroy his vision. He overpowers her, sending her plummeting to her death. With no time to waste, they flee to the streets. Commandeering a car, they make a desperate escape. But Esteban and his followers are not far behind, their own vehicles in pursuit. Through the ruined city, the chase barrels forward, leading to the cable car tower. Sebastian halts abruptly. He hands Claire and Sophia their way out. "Go," he tells them. "I'll hold them off." As Claire and Sophia ascend the fragile stairway, the battle rages below. Steel clashes. Words turn to weapons. Esteban and Sebastian, two men devoured by faith, face each other. Then, a final blow. An iron rod pierces Esteban. Blood spills as he retaliates, embedding his own weapon into Sebastian. Neither man lets go. Above, Claire and Sophia reach the summit. The cable cars hang motionless. Desperation takes hold. Claire rings the tower's bell, sending ripples through the air. The entity responds. The atmosphere distorts. The ground trembles. It calls to them, mimicking voices of the past. Sophia wavers. She begins to fall. Claire, blindfold discarded, catches her just in time. With no other option, they leap into one of the cable cars, and it moves. Below, Sebastian watches. The moment of truth. He sees Claire and Sophia ascend, escaping. He smiles. His purpose is fulfilled. He dies in peace. When the survivors arrive at the mountain stronghold, they are met with something unexpected, a thriving community. Soldiers stand guard. Scientists work tirelessly. And at long last, Sophia reunites with her mother. Claire, however, is led to a sterile laboratory. Blood samples are drawn.
Why?
She demands answers. The researchers explain they're studying the biochemical markers of trauma. They seek the precise emotional signatures the entity preys upon. Their goal? An antibody, a cure. As experiments unfold, a test subject, a former seer, lies strapped to a bed. The entity's essence lingers, whispering to him. The room grows eerily silent. Then, a sound. A low, guttural growl. Something inside the containment chamber awakens. The seer gasps, his desperation mounting. "Let me see it." And just like that, the cycle continues. The entity remains unseen, whispering, manipulating, always lurking in the shadows. Survivors cling to hope, searching for answers. But can this nightmare ever truly end? Or is the real horror yet to come? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think the entity really is? And if you love spine-chilling stories like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next.